Dear participants, actually we don't want to lose time because time is very limited. We have to sum up by 1:30 sharp due to lockdown condition in Guwahati. So now our subject is Hindustani music, evolution, history and demonstration, dedicated to celebration of 75th anniversary of Indian independence. You will like the subject. It is a very much relevant and interesting subject. And today our expert is, she is none other than very eminent vocalist of Assam. Probably our friends from Assam might be knowing her. She is very eminent vocalist of Assam, Dr. Srimati Mitali De. She is a Bihai artist of All India Radio and Prasar Bharati. She is disciple of Guru Murari Mohan Sharma, Pandit Vidyut Mishra, Mandira Sharma Lahiri, and Oshini Bhinde Deshpande. She has performed throughout the country and earned very much applause all across the country. She is a regular performer. She is also involved in writing and reciting, and even she is creating a new concept of Galpa Katha here, so narrating a story with music. She is doing so many things in Assam, and you will be very much privileged to have her as an expert for the today this session. So I hope you will enjoy the session. Thank you all. Now I invite Mitali De to the in front of the computer. Thank you.
Namaskar. At the very beginning, I'm extending my heartfelt thanks to CCRT Delhi, Sandeep ji, and of course Pradeep Pujari Dada for giving me the opportunity to sit in front of you, to sing, to entertain you through the subject which is told by Mr. Pujari Dada. So I am going to, time is too short, so not wasting the time, I directly go to the subject. Respected ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the topic of discussion today, titled Hindustani Music, Evolution, History and Demonstration, dedicated to the celebration of 75th anniversary of India's independence. So, I am very happy to deliver a lecture on this particular topic because in the coming year we are celebrating our 75th anniversary. So, it's a challenge for me to complete the lecture within a very short span because it's a very big subject. I will try to sum up within 1.5 hours. Before going to the main topic, I would like to start my session with an invocation of Lord Shiva. It is in Rag Vibhas. Sa re ga pa da sa ga pa ga ba ga re sa. रजत गिरिनिभं चारुचन्द्रावतंसं रत्नाकल्पोज्ज्वलङ्गं परशो मृगवराभीति हस्तं पद्मासीनं समन्तात् स्तुतं मर्गणे व्यघ्रकृत्यं वसाहुरम् ऋषभं ऋषभेजम् निखिला भयहरं पञ्चभक्तं So it's a parampara tradition to start with an invocation. So now I am going to the main topic. Before going to the main topic, I would like to share the very objectives of the entity of music. It is one of the fewest things on earth which is beyond religion and political ideologies. Music consoles people, cures people. It gives the asylum to the people in your grief and pain. So I think that it will be this session will be very entertaining, and for me it will be an experiment and experience for searching the process of Indian classical music from the past thousands of years. So as you all know that Indian music is related to the nature. It is very natural. As we can mention if you hear the sound of the chirping of the bird and the whistling sound of the air passing through the trees and the flowing of the river, these are all musical, isn't it? And the rhythm. The rhythm is also very much there in our breathing, in our walking, and everywhere. It is music. So obviously, Indian music, its origin is the nature, as the very notes of Indian classical music, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. As you all know, that the sa, the very note sa is it was derived from the sound of pickup, sharja, from pickup, and the swar rishabh, which is re, from the bull, and the gandhar, ga, it was from the goat, and madham, from the bird, dove, and the pancham, pancham is from kakku, from the sound of kakku, the nightingale, and the dha, it is from the sound of the horse, and in nisad, it is from the sound of elephant. So all are the basic note of Indian classical music. So I would like to start from the ancient period, from when the Indian music was originated. Then here I am going to discuss Hindustani music from the ancient period, and it was began from 2500 BCE to 1500 BCE. There are a number of stories regarding the origin of Indian classical music. One popular view is that Lord Brahma created music and he passed it to Lord Shiva. and Lord Shiva was the main supreme deity of dance, drama, and music. And Lord Shiva passed it to Goddess Saraswati. Saraswati, the goddess of music and literature. As per ancient Hindu scriptures, music has been in existence since the last several thousand years. Archaeological evidence suggests that music existed during Indus Valley civilization, and then it was before some 2,500 years before the Christ. So we are discussing the art form which is almost about 5,000 years old. So it's our opportunity, it's our luck to practice Indian classical music, discussing about the Indian classical music. So in the during the excavations of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, there are some bow-shaped instruments were identified in terracotta form and the variety of drums. So it proves the existence of music during that period. Then the Vedic period came with the advent of Aryan. The Vedic cultures dominated all forms of learning. The priests of that time composed hymns in praise of God in a well-defined style. This music was totally devoted to the bhakti. It was known as Margi Sangeet. Apart from the singing, it was incorporated with musical instruments like veena, mridanga, bansi, etc. And during this period, music was taught in the tradition of Guru Shishya Parampara at Gurukula, means teacher's home. And when we mention the Shamabit out of 4 bits, it contains Sham Gan. And it was also in a very beautiful pattern. Then before the Sambit, there were only 3 notes were existed. It was Udat, Anudat, and Swarit. I would like to sing something for you from that period. And we will notice that only a few notes, not more than 3, were used in that period. One second. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sa 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 re sa re ga re sa. Not more than 3. Here we are using only 2 notes. Sa re sa re sa. It's like that. But after Shambit, many notes came into existence, and that came into existence, which finally turned out to be the basis of Indian classical music. As now we are using 7 Shuddha Swara and 4 other, 5 others Vikrita Swar, altogether 12 notes, 12 swaras we are using nowadays. Gradually, the notes came into existence. Now I am going to the time of the literature of Ramayana and Mahabharata. As you know, the most popular epic, Ramayana, was written in sloka form by the sage Valmiki. And the term sloka means a particular metrical composition chanted in a very easy tempo. Then also, that period also, the musical instruments were used in a various form. They were like Veena, Dundubi, Vedi, Mridanga, etc. Demon King Ravana, the Khalnayak of the epic, and the Monkey King Sugriva, they were also proficient in music. As the Ramayana was sung rather than read, it helped music in entering every Indian household along with the stories of the Ramayana. When Ramayana comes, so I just want to present before you a very popular bhajan composed by Saint Tulsidas, and the subject was the Balyakal of Sri Ramchandra, the childhood of Sri Ramchandra, Thumaka Chalata Ramachandra. So you can sing along with me, and I hope you will enjoy. Thumaka Chalata Ramachandra, Thumaka Chalata Ramachandra, Bajat Janiya, Thumaka Chalata Ramachandra, Bajat Janiya, Thumaka Chalat Ramachandra. Kilati kilati uthat dhaya, kilati kilati uthat dhaya, girata bhumi lat pataya, girata bhumi lat pataya, dhaya matu rojayeta, Dasarath ki raniya, Chalat Ramachandra. Anjala Raja Angajari, Vividha Bhati Sodhari, Anjala Raja Angajari, Vividha Bhati Sodhari, Tan man dhan vari vari, Tan man dhan vari vari, Kahat nidud chaliya, Dhamat chalat Ramachandra. Vikrumase Arunadhara, Vikrumase Arunadhara, Bolata Mukha Madhuri, Subhadana Sita Charu, Lat Pat Lat Kaniya, Chalat Ramachandra. Tulsidas Atiya Puja, Tulsidas Atiya Puja. I'm leaving a gap for you here. You can join me. If you are okay. Tulsidas अति आनंद देखी के रघुबर छवि के समान रघुबर छवि के समान रघुबर छवि के समान रघुबर छवि बनिया चलत रामचंद्र बाजत हे चलिया घूमत चलत घूमत चलत घूमत चलत रामचंद्र. Now we are going to discuss about the next epic. As you know, the world's largest epic, Mahabharata, came into being after the first epic, Ramayana. Here, who wrote it? Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. And it contains about more than, more than not. It's contain about 1 lakh slokas. In Mahabharata's period, musicology was referred to Gandharva Sastra. Because that period, the Gandharva and the Apsaras are considered to be the expert of singing and dancing. And the main hero Arjun, he predicted like a music teacher, his name was that time Brihanlala, when they were in exile in a king's palace. So that time, that Brihanlala used to teach the children of that king music and dance. And it is proved that that time kings maintained some music school for their children. And it was well maintained. And it was mandatory for every festival to keep a music presentation in them. So it brought the fact that the music was an important part of human life that period also, in the time of Mahabharata. Now, the time of Lord Buddha. It's also a very important period for Indian classical music. So I'm going to chant a Buddhist hymn, their prayer of Buddhism. Sayata Vikanji Mahavikanji Raja Samagati Soham Sayata Vikanji Mahavikanji Raja Samagati Soham. Here in this slope, we also notice that a very small minimum quantity of notes using in this hymn. Mahavikanji Sari Sari Raja Samudati Soham Sari 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 Sa Sa. In Buddha's period, as you all know that Buddha was born in the year BCE 563. And then it was the time that, when the classical music was in its prime position. It has been mentioned that an orchestra of 500 instruments were arranged to celebrate the birth anniversary of Buddha, to conduct musical prayers in Buddha Vihars. Some artists were appointed, and they were suitably rewarded and encouraged by the government. So it is obvious in front of us that that period also Indian music it was very prominent in human life of that Buddhist period also. Now we are coming to the period of Natya Sastra. Natya Sastra, it was a pillar of Indian classical music. It was written by Bharat Muni. It dealt with music as well as vocal music and the instrumental music, so on. And the book was of immense value for the students of music, theatre, and several. It's for now. It is also in practice. Without that Natya Sastra, we can't imagine the Indian classical music because it is the pillar-like book. It's of immense value for the students of music and dance and theatre, and it will be for several years to follow. During 3rd and 4th centuries, the development of music had been done in the arrangement of swara into definite order or pattern, thus giving rise to the various ragas. And gradually the rag would came into existence gradually. Then comes the Maurya period. The renowned Maurya king, Chandragupta, he was a keen lover of music. He also took interest to promote music as well. But from the period, before the Maurya period, it was the medium of bhakti, the prayer. But from that period, from Maurya period, the music gradually deviated from the releases from the bhakti. That period, people started thinking that the music should enrich their life by providing entertainment. So, rich people arranged Baithak, which is called Jalsa nowadays, at their place to entertain their guests. And as King Chandragupta Maurya, he married the daughter of Seleucus. As you all know, that Seleucus was the chief army commander of the Roman army of Alexander the Great. And this event inducted some Roman touch to Indian music. King Chandragupta's grandson, King Ashoka, in his later life, he embraced Buddhism. After embracing Buddhism, he sent delegations to countries like Tibet, China, Japan, Sumatra, Sri Lanka, etc. to promote Buddhism, and it helped in spreading Indian classical music in major part of Asia. Now, I would also present before you a very popular chanting of that period. You see a minimum use of notes here also. Buddham Buddham Sharanam Gacchami Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami Sangham Sharanam gacchami buddham sharanam gacchami. The notation nisa nisa sa sa dharmam sharanam gacchami sangham sharanam gacchami. Here also we notice that the very few notes are used in this chanting. The notes are nisa, nisa, sa, kumare, sa, that much. After Buddha, the Gupta period came into existence. That period, it was mentioned that is the golden age of culture. The great degree of excellence in literature and the art forms happened that period. So it is called the golden age of culture in Gupta period. The world famous poet Kalidas, you all know Kalidas. He had written so many beautiful novels in Shloka form in the language Sanskrit. These were the Sakuntalam, Meghduttam, Raghuvamsam, and many more. He was the court poet in the court of Vikramaditya Chandragupta II. This was the another Chandragupta. It was not the dynasty of Maurya. It was the dynasty of Gupta dynasty. So that time, the Desi music came into existence. From this period, folk music or Desi Sangeet became very popular, and a very important book on Desi Sangeet. It was like a pillar of Indian classical music, another pillar of Indian classical music. The name of the book was Brihad Desi, and it was composed by Pandit Matangaya in the year it's around 8th century. After Bharata's Natya Shastra, Brihadasi was the most significant treatise of its kind. Now, when Desi music comes, I just want to capture the opportunity to sing a very beautiful Bhojpuri folk song in front of you. Madhuban Piya Madhuban mein aayi bahar, Piya Madhuban mein aayi bahar, ke man mora naache madan. Piya Madhuban mein aayi bahar, Piya Madhuban mein aayi bahar, ke man mora naache madan. के मन मोरा नाचे मगन, के मन मोरा नाचे मगन, पिया मधुबन में आई बहार, पिया मधुबन में आई बहार, के मन मोरा नाचे मगन। लहलेवा धरती सुधर आंगराई, लहलेवा धरती सुधर आंगराई, मटिया में चमकेगा हमरी कमाई, मटिया में चमकेगा हमरो कमाई। पिया मोरा तोर बिना पिया मोरा अब नाही भावे रहिया पुरानी, अब नाही भावे रहिया पुरानी, धारा पसीनवा से नवाजनवानी है, धारा पसीनवा से नवाजनवानी। पिया ऐसन रचाया ऐसन रसादा सिंगार, पिया ऐसन रचादा सिंगार, ये झुकी झुकी छावे गगन, पिया ऐसन रचादा सिंगार, ये झुकी झुकी छावे गगन, पिया मधुबन में आई घर घर जगावे नवा जुग के सवेरा, घर घर जगावे नवा जुग के सवेरा, लोगवा चबावे चनरमा पेरा, लोगवा चबावे चनरमा पेरा। पिया लादा पिया लादा पिया के हार, पिया लादा पिया के हार, लगन तोरा चूमे चरण, पिया लादा पिया के हार, लगन तोरा चूमे चरण, पिया मधुबन में आई, मधुबन में आई, मधुबन में आई बहार, हे मन मोरा नाचे मगन। According to Pandit Matanga, Desi Sangeet or the folk music, it's the spontaneous overflow. Is that which comes out spontaneously and can be sung by anyone, irrespective of gender, age, individual, group, religion, rich and poor, literate and illiterate. After that, many ragas came into being, and it had been defined that classical music has two pillars, namely rag and tal, means melody and rhythm. Now we can discuss some Indian rag originated from folk music, like Rag Dhani. It is from the Bihu Git of Assam. And accordingly, from the state Kashmir, the Pahari Rag came into existence. Then from Rajasthan, it was Mand. Jaise Kesare Avani Padaro Maro Desh. And now it belongs to the Indian classical raga family. And from Bengal, the Rag Bilawal came, and Punjab, Rag Hibri. That's why so many ragas were originated from the Desi music. Now we are coming to a very important part of Indian classical music, the advent of Islam. From 600 CE, better say 6th century, onwards, India got divided into several states. And the competition among the different states started. The musicians of those states modified musicology according to their wish, and thus many gharanas, means ghar, family, or sampradayas came into being. It is a very important point to be discussed later on. We will discuss it in a broad way if the time permits. India was constantly under attack of Muslim invaders from 8th century, and then that time the Sufi saints who came along with the invaders showed their interest in Indian music. Sufi, it's a na 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 na. You just unmute it. It's very tempting, no? It's you can sing now along with me. Dama dam mast kalandar, la 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 la. Oh lal lal meri, oh lal meri. Yes, yes, madam. I am looking at you but not hearing you. If you want to sing with me, then you can unmute your volume. Okay, anyway, these are the Sufi songs. Piya Haji Ali, Piya Haji Ali, Piya Haji Ali, Piya. The beautiful song composed by the Sufi saints. They showed their interest towards Indian classical music, but not towards the Indian classical sastras. So they molded their own music in their own way, and the people of that period, some regarded it as a deformation, whereas the others considered this as an enrichment of Indian classical music. Unlike the North, the South Indian music was preserved and practiced freely as before. So that is the significant time the North Indian music was mingling with the Muslim influences, with the elements came with the Sufi saints with the Muslim invaders. So चेहरा थोड़ा सा बदल हो गया in North Indian music का, और जैसे South Indian music जैसे था वैसे ही रह गया. There were no mingling with South Indian music till date. And then in the Khilji period, the very talented musician, we all know, his name was Amir Khusro, who invented Khyal for the first time in India. Then he invented many ragas, tals, and musical instruments like sitar and tabla. So he was a big and prominent contributor of Indian classical music, Amir Khusro, and that was the period of Khilji. Then Tughlaq period came, and in this period, in the period of Tughlaq, another pillar book of Indian classical music, Sangeet Ratnakar, was composed by Sarangadev, which that book was highly regarded by Hindustani and Carnatic musicians. In Lodhi period, the Hindu music lovers wanted to retain the Indian tradition in music, whereas the Muslims wanted to give it a Persian form. And as a result, the Muslim influence on music gave rise to a new style of singing such as Thumri, Qawwali, Khyal, Ghazal, etc. In the dynasty of Mughal, the first Mughal Badshah Babur had some knowledge of music, and he rewarded musicians also. During this period, King of Gwalior, Raja Mansingh Tumar, encouraged the Dhrupad style of singing in order to preserve Indian traditional music. Sufi music was also becoming more popular and demanding, and had the state patronage. And parallelly to this bhakti movement, their subject was bhakti that came into being, and the bhakti cult revolved around Rama and Krishna, and it was a very significant time in Indian classical music history. That period, here we should mention some great names of saints such as Surdas, Haridas, Mira, Kabir, Tulsidas, Jaidev, Vidyapati, Chandidas, and Srimanta Shankardev, Mahapurush Madhavdev in our region, Sri Chaitanya in Bengal, and many more. So I'm again taking the privilege to sing something for you. First, I will sing a Kabir Bhajan for you. आज सांसों की कर लो माला, सांसों की कर लो माला, आज जपोगे साधु, आज सांसों की कर लो माला, सांसों की कर लो माला, आज यहाँ क्या रच दियो जाला, यहाँ क्या रच दियो जाला, लोगों की भावे भक्ति कमावे, लोगों की भावे भक्ति कमावे, महादेव आज जब सच्चा जब सच्चा साई हो मेरा घटे उजियारा, हो मेरा घटे उजियारा, बिना सतगुरु नारी नहीं लाए, बिना सतगुरु Thank you very much. Now I'm going to sing Borgit, which is Our Pride, composed by the 15th century saints Srimanta Shankardev and his disciple Mahapurush Madhav. The language is Brajavali. অধীর জীবন রাম মাধব কেরি মরণ Oh, Hare Rayari Devakhe Dura Avi Avi Rama bhajahu And I think you enjoyed. Thank you. And by the end of 16th century, the Mughal Empire was finally established by Akbar. And it was firmly established by King Akbar. During his time, there was a lot of progress in the field of art and music. There were several eminent musicians in his court, among them Mia Tansen and Baiju Nayak. They were very famous. And there are lots of stories about Mia Tansen, and you must have known, and Baiju Gaura. And the references of Tansen was in the film Mughal-e-Azam. And after Baiju Gaura's name, there was a film, very famous film, Baiju Gaura. Baiju Gaura's real name was Baiju Nayak. So after that, Jahangir and Shahjahan, they were also very keen music lovers. They had done a lot for the musician of their time. Now, a prominent period is coming, the period of Muhammad Shah Rangile. He was a very eminent patron of Indian classical music. He himself was a good musician and encouraged music performers at his time. And among them, in his court, there were three prominent musicians who very profoundly contributed to Khyal singing. They were Adarang, Sadarang, and Maharang. Towards the end of the Mughal dynasty, Khyal, Thumri, Dadra, Ghazals, Tappa also had become extremely popular, and it's very sad to say that the Drupad Dhamar were rarely heard. Now, as I know that you are you are enjoying music rather than the speech, so I'm going to sing some small pieces of Bandish composed by Sadaram. After that, Dadra. I have chosen Rag Yaman because most of you like and you must have known the Rag Yaman. It's a very popular rag. I know you also like this rag very much. Sorry, it is based on Rag Yaman and the Tal, Ek Tal. It is, as you all know, but I'm going to repeat the Tal. Din din nage tirega tu na nage tirega inna. But in a Vilambik line. Acha, one gabla from my side. It's going to be ended in a few minutes. So, presenting before you a gabla. Sajan bina Sajan bina na lage jiya 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 mora Sajan bina na lage jiya mora Sajan bina na lage jiya mora Sajan bina na lage jiya बिजुरी चमके बिजुरी चमके बिजुरी चमके बिजुरी चमके मैं हाँ बिजुरी चमके बिजुरी चमके मैं हाँ कोयल कर रही कोयल कर रही कोयल कर रही सोना कोयल कर रही सोना सजन बिना ना लगे सजन बिना ना सजन बिना जिया सजन बिना जिया सजन बिना जिया सजन so much. Thank you. So, before going to the conclusion, I just want to mention two big names, which were the pillar behind the Indian classical music to shape and to mold and to bring music to the common people like us. The big name were Pandit Vishnu Narayan Bhatkhande and Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paliskar. At that time, during British period, music learning, it was not so easy for the general public. The Gharana system was very much there, and the system did not allow others except the sons, the Guru's son, and some favorite students of that particular Guru. Nobody was allowed to learn classical music. But the two Pandit musicians, the promoter of Indian classical music, Pandit Bhatkhande and Pandit Paliskar, they made Indian classical music possible within our access. How? They traveled a lot. They met the eminent singers of that time. They collected some musical scriptures, the bandishes, as the huge amount as possible. And they developed the notation system and they published all of them. Before that, they transformed all bandishes into notation system, and then they published all of them in a book form. And that is their big contribution towards Indian classical music. And they established two big schools to learn, to promote music, Indian classical music, which were in the year 1901, the Gandharva Mahavidyalaya by Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paliskar and Bhatkhande Sangeet Vidyapith by Pandit Vishnu Narayan Bhatkhande. Remembering these two Pandit, I am just going to conclude my today's session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a good session. It was very soothing music. Your voice is so lovely. We actually need this type of music at this time and also in our school also.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. You're most welcome. Do you want to ask any question? But being a student of music, I don't know. I can give you the answer of all questions, but I will try.
Madam Italy, madam.
Yes.
I am Gayatri Saikia from Tinsukia, Assam.
Okay. Welcome.
Yes, ma'am. I teach in a LP school.
Yeah.
And first of all, thank you for your very melodious session and your melodious voice and the songs and ghazals and bhajans. And in our schools, we during the prayer session, we do some slokas.
Yeah.
Very brief one.
Yeah. Do you want to sing?
Yes. We need this kind of training sometimes at some times, because we don't know the actual, as we are not musical students, so that's why sometimes we need these kinds of training, and your session will help us very much for doing the slokas and and melodious singing. And during the poems, some of the poems are very. That means we need some. আপুনি বুজি পাইছে নহয় আমাৰ কিছুমান গীতো থাকে কবিতাবিলাকত
Yeah.
ভূপেন হাজৰিকাৰ গীতো সন্নিৱিষ্ট আছে 4-5 স্কুলত
Yeah.
হয় সেইকাৰণে আমি দ্যাটছ ৱাই কেতিয়াবা আমাৰ দৰকাৰ হৈ পৰে এই গানবিলাক আমি গাবলগীয়া হয় আৰু সেইকাৰণে এনেকুৱা ট্ৰেইনিংবিলাকে আমাক সহায় কৰিছে আৰু তাৰ উপৰিও শ্লোকবিলাক আপোনালোকে আপুনি যদি আপোনাৰ পিপিটিটো বা কিবা আপোনাৰ সৰু সৰু শ্লোক থাকে তেতিয়াহ'লে আপুনি আমাক জনাব পাৰে বা পিপিটিৰ জৰিয়তে পাৱাৰ পইণ্টৰ জৰিয়তে আপুনি
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'm happy that the sloka practice is still running in your school. So along with the songs of the legends of Assam. So your proposal is welcome by me. In future, I will try to connect with me some days in the future. So I will definitely collect and send it to you.
नमस्कार मैडम मैं असम के तिनसुकिया जिले से हूँ आपके सेशन से आज हमें हिंदुस्तानी म्यूजिक के ओरिजिन के बारे में बहुत कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन मिला और इस प्लेटफॉर्म में आपसे बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला और हम चाहते हैं कि इस तरह के क्लास या वर्कशॉप हमें मिले और जिससे हम अपने बच्चों को स्कूल के बच्चों को म्यूजिक के बारे में शास्त्रीय म्यूजिक के बारे में हम कुछ सिखा सके
And from here,
Hello, ma'am.
My heartful thanks to CCRT Delhi that they are organizing a session like this, and it is really very useful for all of us. And do you want to ask a question?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah. I'm listening to you.
I am Bornali Mohan from Dibrugarh, Assam. I am working in a upper primary school.
Yeah.
It was really a wonderful session, ma'am. And what we do practices in our school that classical music has always played a major role in mindful meditation and in case of mind peacefulness. And in our school, what I used to hello. Yeah. So classic. Sorry, ma'am. In our school, what I used to that I always used to ask my children to listen to the ragas actually. So and I'm working being a teacher and apart from the teacher, I also working as a clinical child psychologist. So I used to tell my children that always go for ragas and classical music, follow this classical music so that they can increase their concentration. So ma'am, would you like to suggest us some kind of ragas or some kind of music those which can be helpful for our children, ma'am?
Yeah. Usually we do our meditation session in the early morning, no?
Yes,
so the rag which can be sung in the period of the early period in the morning, so that can be suggested as the meditation for Indian classical music for your children also.
Yeah, ma'am.
Like rag Bhairav, it is very useful. Rag Bhairav is not so difficult to do. It's not so difficult. So you can sing, you can go through the notes. Komal Rishabh and Komal Thevat are used in this rag Bhairav. The Bhairav you can use for meditation. There are another rag in the morning and another rag which should I suggest? Rag Vibhas, which I started my session. Rag Vibhas. It has also only 5 minutes, and Kumal Rishabh and Kumal Dhirbat is still in this rag also, Rag Vivas, and the similar rag is Rag Bhairav. And Bhairav and Vivas could be suggested for meditation for your children. Rag Vivas and Rag Bhairav. You can search in the YouTube also, and you will get the detail of that 2 ragas.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You can play the YouTube any instrumental or vocal music during the session of meditation, and from that listening you can enjoy, you can meditate. Anything can be.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Another last question we can take, then we'll move to celebration aspect of this session.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Audible?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm Divya Jyoti Medhi from Guwahati, Assam. First of all, I would like to tell you that you have a very nice voice, and I really enjoyed listening to your song. And this session has been very informative, and I really enjoyed this session.
Thank you.
I have a concern that is not only my concern, but actually most of the teachers of our time, they have the same kind of concern. The music that these days, mostly that has come up, they are mostly very unrefined, be it at national level or local level. They are very unrefined and very offensive, we can say. As teachers, we may tell our students that you cannot listen to these songs, or you cannot sing these songs in our school. But when they go home, they continue listening or singing to those songs. And they mostly get the songs from the internet only, because nowadays the internet is more popular than TV. What we can do as teachers so that we can refrain our students from such flamboyant music and make them appreciate the good music, that is Indian classical music, or the music which we can appreciate and which add value to our life. What we can do as teachers.
As I get the view from you, is it like that you are talking like the present situation of music, no?
Yeah, the present situation in Assam, also in other parts also, I suppose it is the same.
Yeah. And these are the challenges in front of us.
Yes.
Okay. So you can do, but I can't say that how much you'll be able to get success. And now the mentality of get the quick success and a quick publicity, it is very significant in new generation. Yes. So to practice Indian classical music, we have to listen frequently. We have to at least spend some time to appreciate, to know our lessons of the past years. So when we get to know our glorious past, then obviously they will come in a right way. So it is the challenge before us, making of the process of making cheap music, but everywhere it is happening. So like the teacher from Tinsukia, उन्होंने मुझे पूछा कि कैसे हम लोगों को मेडिटेट कराते हैं, मतलब कौन सा राग suitable होगा. So you can start from 1 or 2 rag in a first step. Then you can use Rag Bhairav and Rag Vivas like the teacher from Tinsukia, and then only gradually you can have the success in your process. You cannot get a huge success in a very small time. It is not possible, because the society has been changed in a very rapid way. So the pops and the rocks are becoming very popular, and our classical music and our folk music is submerged under the pops and rock music. So we have to, we should not lose our courage. We should try our best. So you can get the result, you know, I mean, it will be धीरे-धीरे आपको result मिलेगा. It will not coming so quick. So, but we should not lose our courage.
अब हम
Okay.
कंक्लूजन की तरफ आए, सेशन को एंड की तरफ आए. जैसा कि हमने मीटिंग करी थी, इस प्रोग्राम को डिजाइन करने से पहले हमारे ऑनरेबल चेयरपर्सन मैम और डायरेक्टर सर के गाइडेंस के साथ हम लोगों ने एक मीटिंग किया, जिसके अंदर में ऑनलाइन में कैसे बेटर रिजल्ट ला सकते हैं, लर्निंग आउटकम कैसे हम लोग टीचर्स तक पहुंचेंगे इसके साथ में, और स्कूलों तक कैसे पहुंचेंगे. मैडम मिताली डे भी उस दिन हमारे साथ थी और मैम ने कहा रियली उसी वक्त उनने पिकअप कर लिया था कि 75th एनिवर्सरी ऑफ इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस डे और हिंदुस्तानी म्यूजिक, इसको एड्रेस करना रियली एक चैलेंज होगा मेरे लिए. मैम ने उस चैलेंज को जिस तरीके से अभी एक्सप्लेन किया, मैम इट वाज वंडरफुल प्रेजेंटेशन. बट हम इससे पहले कि वोट ऑफ थैंक्स की ओर आए, देखिए ये तो म्यूजिक का मैटर है. पिछले 10 साल जब मैं गुवाहाटी में रहा, मैम कई बार हमारे रीजनल सेंटर गुवाहाटी में ऑन कैंपस मोड में आई, और मैम का एमिनेंस, उनकी लर्निंग, और मैं तो उनको एक आर्टिस्ट नहीं बल्कि मैं गुरु एज ए सम्मान करता हूं मैम का. तो मैम के प्रेजेंस में अगर इस 75th एनिवर्सरी को हम सेलिब्रेशन के रूप में एंड न करें तो अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. 250 से ऊपर हमारे टीचर्स हैं, 280 के आसपास हैं, 10 राज्यों से लोग हैं, 10 राज्य और यूनियन टेरिटरी से. CCRT रीजनल सेंटर जुड़ी हुई है, बल्कि मैं पुजारी सर को भी निवेदन करूंगा कि वो स्क्रीन पे अपेयर हों. और क्या करें, अब स्टेज में तो संभव नहीं है, तो स्क्रीन पे ही कहें. और मैं मिताली डे से मेरा निवेदन है, हमारे देशभक्ति का कोई हम सॉन्ग लें, और वो जरूरी नहीं है कि हिंदी में हो, इंग्लिश में हो, या किसी भाषा में, हमारा असमिया भी हो सकता है. और हम एक देशभक्ति, हमारे देश को समर्पित एक सॉन्ग के साथ में अगर हम सभी लोग इसके साथ में, मैम के साथ में, सभी लोग अपना माइक भी अनम्यूट कर लेंगे, रेस्ट ऑफ साउंड्स को हम ना आने दें, अपने वॉइस को मैम के साथ फॉलो करेंगे. मैम को स्टार्ट करने देते हैं. आप सभी से निवेदन है, एंड दिस वुड बी द सेलिब्रेशन एंड डेडिकेटेड टू द आजादी का महोत्सव, जो हमारा 75th एनिवर्सरी हम मना रहे हैं इस वर्ष में. लेट देम डिसाइड. पुजारी दादा को पूछ रहे हैं मैम कौन सा सॉन्ग सर अप्रोप्रिएट होगा. तो आप टाइम लीजिए और जरूर अच्छे सॉन्ग के साथ आइए.
It's my pleasure to sing Bhakti Sangeet of India, which is based on Rag Desh. ये हम लोग देश के लिए गा रहे हैं, इसलिए it's based on Rag Desh. So all of a sudden it comes to my mind. So all can sing with me. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Suvarnam
भारत माता की
जय।
भारत माता की
जय।
थैंक यू सो मच मैम। आपने संस्कृत के इस हमारे गीत को लिया और हम सभी रियली अभी भाव विभोर हुए आपके इस गाने के साथ में, और हम सब रिपीट कर रहे थे। ये तो हमारे ब्लड में है। पुजारी सर इक्वली आपके साथ गा रहे थे, मैंने देखा। और अब सभी के परमिशन के साथ, मैम मिताली डे के परमिशन के साथ, पुजारी सर के परमिशन के साथ और सभी शिक्षकों के परमिशन के साथ मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं पुजारी सर को कि बायदू हमारे CCRT रीजनल सेंटर में आई और पूरे देश को एड्रेस किया। उनने हिंदुस्तानी म्यूजिक से सराबोर किया, और अगर मैं म्यूजिक की भाषा में कहूं तो उनने समा बांधा उनके हर एक रागाज के साथ में। सर पुजारी, आप कृपया वोट ऑफ थैंक्स करें हमारे क्षेत्रीय केंद्र की ओर से मैम का और सभी शिक्षकों का, और आज के दिन का हम यहाँ पे समापन की उद्घोषणा भी करेंगे साथ, और कल फिर मुलाकात होगी। धन्यवाद सभी को।
नमस्कार, थैंक यू वेरी मच।